Would you love to sign clients this week from your current audience? Well, that's exactly what you're going to learn in this video. And listen, it does not matter if you only have a couple of hundred followers across your social platforms, or even if you believe your email list is small. Because when you implement what I'm going to share with you in this video, you will have everything you need to call out those right fit people who are ready to go. And then you'll have a quick conversation and you will sign clients. But I'm going to tell you right up front, that will not happen unless you take action. I'm talking fast action. I'm talking imperfect action. Yeah, scary action. So, yes, if you do what I'm going to lay out for you today, you will sign clients this week. But you're going to do it feeling uncomfortable, and you got to be okay with that. And there's a very important reason why you need to feel uncomfortable. And it's because that's what's required to break through to that next level. Look, you have got to think differently. You've got to do differently. And different will, somebody say will, feel uncomfortable. And guess what? You won't want to do it. You will want to procrastinate. But that's okay. Let's get ahead of it. So when that happens, you have already decided ahead of time. I am not going to give in to my feelings. I am not going to give in to your fear. That's what you're saying, right? Let's decide right now. Let's affirmatively, proactively choose faith over the fear, right? I want you to decide ahead of time to choose to go all in like never before because you feel compelled to do exactly that because you know that God called you to this. And that means that you are a God appointed, God anointed CEO built for this work. And so, will you decide ahead of time with me? You will choose faith over the fear and you will take action, even if it feels scary, knowing that that is the very thing that's going to get you the results that you've been praying for, and that showing of faith is going to please the Lord. Hallelujah. All right. Are you ready to sign dream clients this week? I'm talking about dream clients who are excited to work with you. Dream clients who are happy to invest in your 4K, 5K, 10K, even 15K or more offer. Are you ready? I can't wait to dive in. But first, if we haven't met before, hello, my name's Judy Weber, and I've been a business owner for well over 20 years, generating millions with a small team that is self-sufficient and a team that drives revenue into the business. My team doesn't cost me money. My team makes me money. And I'm known as the Kingdom Disruptor, catalyzing $1 million impact for women of faith. Specifically, I help my clients grow and scale extraordinary and profitable multi-six and seven-figure businesses, working just 4 days a week. That's right. Around here, my clients achieve the miraculous because faith makes every business strategy work. All right, let's get into it. How to sign clients this week from your current audience. And you will want to stay to the very end because I'm revealing a super juicy nugget. That is specifically the highest converting copy. What you need to do to really draw in your dream client. So be sure to watch till the end. Okay, first, you need a specific who. You need a specific who. That's your best client. It's not just women or even women in their 40s or even corporate women in their 40s. In 2025, surface level will not cut it. You've got to go deeper. That means that you have to know with specificity not only who your best client is, but you've got to know her at a very deep level. Like this. What does she think about? And how does she think about that? And what does she experience in an average day? And not only what she experiences as it relates to your area of expertise, but more broadly, more generally. Like, here's what I mean. Me as a business coach, I need to know not only what's going on in the life of my best client when she's working on her business, but also when she's not, right? My best client is a woman who loves Jesus Christ fiercely and is an empty nester. So she has kids in high school or college, or maybe they're all out of the house, right? So I've got to think, what happens when this woman who I've just described wakes up? What is she thinking about? What does she spend her time thinking about and worrying about or praying for, right? And what about her free time? Does she have free time? What does she do in her free time? Or what does she wish she could do, right? If she had more of it. And then more specifically into my area of expertise, what's going on in her business? What's going great? What's going not so great, right? And this is what I mean by going deeper. How about this? Even deeper still. What does her husband think about her and her business? Is he supportive? Do they have a good relationship? Is the business impacting the relationship? And if so, how? This is all important for you to know in 2025. You might say, why, Jude? This sounds a little bit intrusive, right? Oh, no, it's not intrusive. Listen, the better you know your best client, the more easily you can speak to her in your messaging, wherever you show up. Meaning the more you will be able to call her out. And how do you do that? By talking about what's going on in her life right now. Creating content that reiterates the thought that she just had this morning, or speaks to the prayer that she just threw up last night to the Lord, right? Now, there's a recent stat that I heard, and I want to share it with you here. Nearly 90% of businesses fail because of this one reason, and that is they fail to understand their best client at a deep level. So, are you willing to really do a deep dive into your best client and be specific as to your who? That dream client, that best client who you would love to work with, who values your expertise, who knows you're worth every penny and more, right? So we're talking about specificity on your who. It's demographics, it's psychographics, it's life experience, it's thought life, prayer life, desires and pains, all of that. And when it comes to desires, I want to throw out this little bonus for you. Let's go deeper. As to her desires, like I want this, you have to go one step deeper and understand why. Why is that desire so important to her? And I want to take you through an example to really shed light on this. Okay, let's say you're a health coach and you hear your people constantly saying, I'm really tired. I'm so tired of being tired, right? But the average struggling entrepreneur would create content that says, are you feeling tired during the day? And then go on about that. No, but that's not you. You're not average. You're way above average, right? So you're going to go deeper. And so because you have committed to go deeper, if not beforehand, as of right now, okay, in your conversations with your clients and with right fit prospects, you're going to make it your business to know more about your best client, how they think, what's really going on, right? And so you're going to have discovered that she doesn't just want to no longer be tired, and she definitely doesn't want to learn how to fix her hormones. I hear that a lot, okay? But rather, in this situation, you're a health coach helping young moms. And when you explore deeper, she's tired of being tired because what matters to her is her exhaustion is impacting her kids negatively. Okay, that's what matters to her. She's thinking to herself, it breaks my heart to hear my kids beg for me to take them to play in the park, and I have to go take a nap. You see the difference? So when you would speak to that specificity in your content on your sales calls, okay, she will buy. And like, Judy, really? Is it that easy? Well, there were a couple layers deep there. So it is simple, but it requires you to, again, really know your best client, obsess over them. Okay. That is a very good thing for them. Okay. So when I was saying she would buy, when you talk about that, I know what's going on. Not only are you tired, but your perpetual being tired means you can't go to the park with your kids, means you have to tell them mommy needs a nap, right? You need to plop them in front of the TV again. Do you get what I'm saying? Okay. So that's what she wants. Please help me to not be tired so that I can be a better mom, be a more present mom, be more involved, right? Able to experience those precious moments with my child. Okay, that was all the first thing you need to sign clients. You have to know who you're talking to. Second thing you need to know, you need a specific promise, okay? This transformation, this result that you help your clients get. And you need to put it out there boldly. Okay, somebody say bold, you got to put it out there, and ideally with a timeline. So here's an example: lose 20 pounds in 12 weeks without whatever whatever your shtick is, without exercising constantly or counting calories, whatever it is. Okay, the without is an extra bonus. Okay, so it's a promise with a timeline, ideally maybe with a couple of withouts. Okay, how about this? Create your $1 million brand in just 2 weeks without you lifting a finger, right? One of my clients does that. She creates $1 million brands. She's been doing it for 30 years, and you don't lift a finger. She does it all in 2 weeks. Hot, right? How about this one? Sign your first or next 5 or 10K client in 30 days or less, period. Okay. Now, are we talking about guarantees? Not necessarily. But what I am talking about is identifying a transformation that you know in your heart of hearts is doable and achievable for your best client. Okay. So I don't want to hear, well, Judy, what if they don't achieve it? Like, I don't know. What if I sign someone who's not a best client and they don't get that result? I'm going to feel bad. Like, that doesn't feel good to me. Hang on, like time out. Okay. That is lowest common denominator thinking. The what if they don't achieve it? We need to think higher. You're an expert. You know that you will get your people, right? Your dream clients. You're going to get them the results. So that's where we're thinking. We're not worried about the people that won't do the work. We don't even speak to them. We're speaking to that best client who is already searching for you. She's already searching for the result you provide. Okay. And so she's willing to do the work. She is more than happy to pay for it. Okay. So that is the person that's going to get this amazing transformation. Okay. Now, I told you, if you're feeling a little uncomfortable with anything I've talked about so far, I told you, next level breakthrough. It requires you to stretch yourself well beyond your comfort zone. But you're able to do it. I know it. That's why you're still watching. Okay. Third, you need to speak directly. You need to speak directly like a laser beam. Okay. No beating around the bush, meaning lots of words, but you're not really saying anything and you never really get to the point. Okay. None of that. No hedging your bets, putting a bunch of qualifiers that dilute your messaging. Things like I think or I believe. Instead, you just say it. The fact is, boom, right? So one example, I always say, playing small is a sin. That's a fact. And I say it with such conviction, you get it, you feel it. But if I'd say something more like, you know what? I think that playing small is a sin. It's delivered very differently, and therefore it's received very differently. One is more direct, and I know it deep in my bones. Playing small is a sin. And it's delivered by someone of authority. So that's very different than if I were to say, you know what? I think playing small might be a sin. I mean, do you see how ridiculous that is? So you as an expert, you need to decide, somebody say decide, what is true to you. Like what you, we know there's only one truth, capital T truth, that of Jesus Christ, right? So no cards and letters about that. But what I am saying is you need to be strong enough as an expert and a God appointed authority to say things that are going to blow people's minds. You're a thought leader. And so you do take a this is it and nothing else kind of approach to certain concepts that you build your business on. Does this make sense? Because look, people work with leaders. They don't work with little mousy people. I wouldn't pay a dime to somebody if all they did was say, well, you might, or you could, or no. This is what it is. You will blank, right? Hope that makes sense. Another thing, when it comes to speaking directly, we can't give nebulous, meaning unclear, promises. They can't be hazy. We have to paint a picture of a result of a transformation that people can picture, that they can imagine, they can bring to mind. And so if your promise is you'll feel good again, what exactly does feeling good mean? If you were to go outside and interview 10 different people, hey, what does feeling good mean to you? I can almost guarantee you're going to get 10 different answers. So, this is what I mean by, we have to be direct, we have to be specific, and we have to make it clear. Okay. Here's another one I hear a lot. You work with me and you'll gain confidence. Well, that's kind of good, right? I'd love to be confident, but that's not direct enough. It's not clear enough. Gain confidence to do what? So that what? Right? That's the juice of the promise, not confidence in the abstract. Okay. All right. So you got to speak directly. Fourth, and finally, you've got to give a call to action. Okay. And I'm going to give you the framework. So quickly go grab paper and pen if you don't have it yet. Okay. Here's the call to action. As we talked about, you already know who specifically you're talking to. You already have a very specific promise, okay, very clear, and you speak directly to them. And so with all of that, you've got to punctuate it with a call to action. And here's the framework. If you are describe your best client, who's ready to get this result in the next time frame, I have X, which is a number, of spots available. DM to get started. Okay. If you're a blank who's ready to blank in the next blank, days, weeks, whatever, I have X number of spots available. DM me to get started today. And then all I got to do is follow up with those who respond. Simple, doable. You'll feel great when you sign that client. And I want you to come back here and say, Jude, I got a client. Thank you for laying it out and making this so simple. But before you go, I have a bonus. Okay. I have a bonus for you. For the highest converting copy, wherever you're putting copy out. And so it doesn't matter if it is a social post. It doesn't matter if it is a video like this. It doesn't matter if you are doing a podcast on your own or if you are podcast guesting. For the highest converting messaging or copy, you've got to say what needs to be said that up to now you have been holding off, that up to now you've been filtering yourself from saying. In other words, you've got to be provocative, right? Provocative means deliberately causing a strong reaction. Because look, the best marketing is polarizing, meaning your people are going to love it and those who aren't your people will not. Brava! You have done what marketing is supposed to do. Draw in those you are meant to work with, those that are your best clients, and those that are not, you're saying thank you, but no, and they're qualifying themselves out. Great. Because here's the deal. When you say provocative things, and I think of it as a slap in the face sort of verbiage, okay? A loving slap in the face to your people to wake them up, right? It's words that they can't ignore. So when you say things like that, you get your people's attention and keep it, right? That's provocative, direct messaging that draws them closer to you. It draws them in as they think, oh my gosh, did she just say that? I can't believe she just said that. And some of your really best clients will say, wow, I can't believe she's in my head. And that's what I thought, but I couldn't even put words around it. I love her. I've got to work with her. Okay. Listen, I have given you so much juice in this episode, and I pray that it has blessed you. So if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments and I will come back around. And as I said, once you sign your first or next 4 or 5 figure client as a result of following these steps, come on back and tell me about it. All right, sister. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.